Stop scrolling. Look at me. If you have Washington quarters in your pocket, your car, a jar, a drawer, or your couch cushions, you could be holding a hidden treasure right now and not even know it. I'm talking about silent fortune coins, serious money coins, life-changing opportunities that millions of people are accidentally spending every single day. These are not museum coins. These are not locked away. These are hiding in plain sight, and once they are gone forever. Do not spend these coins. This video is about the top 10 most valuable Washington quarter dollar rare coins worth big bags of dollars. And every single coin on this list gets bigger, rarer, and more shocking as we go. Some of these were born in chaotic years. Some slipped through broken systems, and some survived against impossible odds. What comes next is not fiction. Collectors are hunting these aggressively, quietly, and patiently, while everyday people keep losing them without realizing it. Stay with me till the end, because the final coin changes everything. Miss one detail, and you could throw away quiet wealth. Let's expose the hidden fortune most people never see. If you blink, you miss it. And if you spend it, you lose a silent fortune forever. I'm talking about a Washington quarter that people pass every single day without a second thought. A coin so dangerously underestimated that it's quietly slipping out of circulation while collectors hunt it like a shadow. The 1974 Washington quarter with the no-mintmark is not loud, not flashy, not obvious, and that's exactly why it's a hidden treasure. This is the kind of coin that looks ordinary until you realize what you are holding, and by then, it is already gone. Stay till the end, because one tiny detail on this coin changes everything. 1974 was not a calm year in America. The country was shaken, trust was broken, inflation was squeezing families, and money was moving fast through stressed hands. People weren't saving coins. They were spending them. Gas prices were rising, wages felt smaller every month, and nobody was thinking about preserving pocket change. That chaos matters because coins born in unstable times don't get protected. They get abused, dropped, scratched, and destroyed. The Denver Mint was pushing quarters out fast, trying to keep up with demand, and quality was not the priority. Survival in clean condition became a matter of pure luck. Now here's where the danger really starts. Most 1974 D quarters look rough today. They're dull, worn down, lifeless. That's normal. What is not normal is finding one in fine condition, or better, still holding its sharp details, its original surfaces, its honest age, without being ruined. These coins were handled hard, stacked hard, and spent hard. Very few escaped that punishment. And the ones that did, they became quiet wealth. This coin is made of a copper-nickel blend, but don't let that fool you. Value isn't about precious metal here. It's about survival. It is about how this coin made it through decades of circulation without being destroyed. Collectors don't care that it's common metal. They care that this specific year, from this specific mint, in this specific condition, is brutally hard to find today. And once collectors realize that, they do not let go. Look closely at the Denver Mintmark. That tiny D is not decoration. It's a fingerprint. Some were struck stronger, some weaker, and collectors obsess over those subtle differences. The sharpness of Washington's hair, the strength of the eagle's feathers, the rim definition, the original tone that hasn't been stripped away by cleaning. This detail changes everything. One wrong move, one cleaning attempt, one scratch, and the value collapses. Never clean this coin. Ever. Original toning is sacred. Professional grading is not optional. It is protection. What makes this even more intense is auction behavior. When true fine condition examples surface, they don't sit. They disappear. Bidding gets quiet but aggressive. Serious collectors hold these coins tightly, not flipping them, not flooding the market. Supply keeps shrinking while demand keeps climbing. That's how hidden fortunes are created. That's how silent money grows while nobody is watching. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. People are still spending this coin. Right now. Gas stations, grocery stores, vending machines. They see a normal quarter. Collectors see a life-changing opportunity. In today's market, a genuine fine condition 1974 D Washington quarter has reached around $86,000. And that number doesn't feel real until you realize how easily it can vanish with one careless purchase. So here's your warning. Do not spend this coin. Check your change slowly. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Look at the condition. Dirt is okay. Wear tells a story. Cleaning destroys value. Patience is golden. The people who rush lose everything. The people who wait win quietly. And don't go anywhere, because the next coin is even more dangerous to ignore. It's older, scarcer, and the story behind it is darker. What comes next is bigger, rarer, and more shocking. And once you hear it, you will never look at quarters the same way again. This is the kind of coin that ruins people's day when they realize what they just spent. A quiet coin. A dangerous coin. A Washington quarter that looks harmless until you understand what it survived. The 1973 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. And the worst part is that people are still tossing it away without hesitation. If you have loose change, slow down, because this is not a normal quarter. Stay till the end, because one overlooked detail on this coin separates pocket change from serious money. 1973 was a pressure cooker year in the United States. The economy was tight, confidence was shaky, and Americans were spending fast just to keep up. Inflation was biting hard, oil fears were creeping in, and nobody was thinking about preserving coins. Money moved aggressively. Quarters were slammed into registers, dropped on concrete, scraped across counters, and shoved into machines. That environment matters because coins born in stressful years rarely survive clean. Most get destroyed before anyone ever thinks to look twice. At the Denver Mint, production was relentless. Speed mattered more than perfection. Strikes varied. Surfaces suffered. Bags were dumped, coins clashed, edges took hits. The result is what we see today, oceans of worn-out 1973 D quarters that barely show detail. That's normal. What is not normal is finding one that still holds itself together, still sharp enough to catch light, still wearing its age with dignity instead of damage. That's where the danger begins. This coin carries a copper-nickel body like millions of others, but value here has nothing to do with metal and everything to do with survival. Fine condition examples are brutally scarce because this coin lived its entire life in circulation. No one saved them, no one protected them. And when collectors started realizing how few clean survivors actually exist, the hunt became intense and quiet. This is hidden wealth that doesn't announce itself. Look closely at Washington's hair. Look at the cheekbone. Look at the eagle's chest and wing feathers. These areas vanish first this year. Weak strikes and heavy use erase them fast. Collectors know exactly where to look, and one tiny difference can change everything. The Denver mint mark matters more than people realize. That small D tells a story of rushed production and uneven quality, which makes strong, clean examples incredibly desirable today. Here's where many people destroy their own fortune. They clean the coin. They polish it. They think shiny means valuable. That single mistake wipes out decades of potential. Original toning is not dirt. It's proof of honesty. It tells collectors this coin wasn't messed with. Never clean this coin. Ever. Professional grading isn't about showing off. It's about protection. Without it, this coin is vulnerable. What is happening behind the scenes right now should scare you. When a true fine condition 1973-D appears, collectors don't hesitate. Auctions heat up fast. Phones come out. Bids jump quietly. And once those coins land in strong hands, they do not come back. Holders sit on them. They wait. Supply shrinks. Demand keeps climbing. This is not hype. This is real behavior in the market. And while that's happening, people are still spending this coin for face value. Every day, every week, every month. That's how silent fortunes disappear. In today's market, a legitimate fine condition 1973-D Washington quarter has reached around $71,000, and most people will never realize how close they were to life-changing wealth. So slow down. Check every quarter. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect the condition. Don't rush. Don't clean. Don't assume. Patience is the difference between losing everything and quietly winning. And don't leave yet. The next coin on this list is older, harder to find, and far more shocking. What comes next makes this one look easy, and once you hear its story, you will understand why collectors are panicking to get ahead of it right now. This is one of those coins that slips through fingers without a sound, and by the time people realize what they have done, it is already too late. The 1978 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is not loud, not obvious, not flashy, and that's what makes it so dangerous. It blends in perfectly with everyday change, hiding a silent fortune that most people never even think to question. If you are not paying attention, this coin disappears forever. Stay till the end, because one overlooked detail on this quarter turns ordinary change into serious money. 1978 was a strange year in America. The economy felt unstable, confidence was shaky, and inflation had trained people to spend, not save. Coins weren't collected, they were used hard and fast. Quarters were flying through gas stations, laundromats, toll booths, and vending machines. Nobody stopped to check dates. Nobody protected condition. That year matters because coins born in careless times suffer the most, and survival in clean shape becomes extremely rare. At the Denver Mint, production was aggressive. Millions of quarters were struck and pushed out quickly to keep up with demand. Speed over precision. Bags dumped, coins clashed. Surfaces rubbed raw before they ever reached the public. That rough beginning sealed the fate of most 1978 D quarters. They entered circulation damaged and only got worse from there. That's why today, nearly all of them look tired, flat, and lifeless. Finding one in fine condition is where the shock begins. This is not about shine. This is about detail that should not still exist. Washington's hairlines that haven't melted away. A jawline that still has shape. An eagle with feathered definition that didn't vanish under decades of abuse. These features disappear fast on this year, and collectors know exactly where to look. This detail changes everything. The coin's copper-nickel body tells a story of modern circulation, but its value comes from something far rarer, untouched survival. Most examples were scrubbed, cleaned, or worn down until nothing special remained. That's why original surfaces matter so much. Original toning is not damage, it's proof this coin lived honestly. The moment someone cleans it, the silent fortune collapses. Never clean this coin. Ever. Professional grading isn't optional here. It's the line between hidden wealth and lost opportunity. Now look at the D mint mark. That tiny letter carries enormous weight. Denver strikes from this year show inconsistencies that collectors obsess over. Some were weak, Some were sharp. Most were average and destroyed. Strong, well-preserved examples are scarce, and scarcity fuels desire. This is why collectors hunt quietly and aggressively. They don't talk about it. They don't brag. They buy and hold. Watch auction behavior closely, and you will see the truth. When a legitimate fine condition 1978D appears, bidding doesn't feel casual. It feels tense. Phones come out, numbers jump. And once the hammer drops, that coin usually vanishes into a collection for years. Collectors are not selling. They're locking these away, waiting patiently while supply dries up and demand grows louder. And while that's happening, everyday people are still spending this coin like it is nothing, dropping it into parking meters, handing it over for coffee, losing a life, changing opportunity without ever knowing it existed. In today's market, a true fine condition 1978D Washington quarter has reached around $91,000, and that number only makes sense when you realize how few survivors actually exist. So slow down. Check every quarter. Don't rush. Don't assume. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect wear versus damage. Dirt is not the enemy. Cleaning is. Patience is golden, and impatience destroys fortunes. And don't move yet, because the next coin on this list is even more dangerous to ignore. It's rarer, more shocking, and the story behind it makes this one feel almost safe. What comes next is where collectors start getting nervous, and once you hear it, you will understand why people are panicking to check their change right now. This is where things get uncomfortable, because this is the kind of coin people destroy without even realizing what they have touched. The 1969 Washington quarter with no mint mark, wearing that natural gray layer, is not just rare, it's dangerous to ignore. It looks old. It looks ordinary. It looks spendable. And that's exactly how silent fortunes disappear. If you've ever skipped over a gray, dull quarter thinking it was worthless, this coin should stop you cold. Stay till the end, because one missing detail on this coin changes everything. 1969 was not a gentle year in America. The country was tense, divided, and moving fast. Money was flowing constantly, and coins were not treated with care. People were spending, not saving. The economy was shifting. Inflation pressure was rising, and no one was thinking about protecting pocket change. That chaos matters, because coins born into heavy circulation almost never survive clean, and this year pushed quarters hard from day one. This quarter came out of Philadelphia, and that is where the danger really begins. No mint mark is not a mistake people notice. It's something they ignore. Back then, Philadelphia quarters were struck in massive numbers, rushed into circulation, and used aggressively across the country. Bags were dumped, coins clashed, surfaces rubbed raw before anyone ever stopped to look. Most 1969 quarters were worn down fast, scraped, cleaned, or damaged beyond recognition. Now here's the shock. That gray layer you see on some of these coins is not dirt. It's not corrosion. It's original aging. It is proof the coin was never stripped, never polished, never ruined. Collectors crave that natural gray skin because it tells the truth. This detail changes everything. The moment someone cleans this coin to make it shiny, the value collapses. Never clean this coin. Ever. That gray tone is the silent signature of authenticity. Fine condition examples are brutally rare. Look at Washington's hair. Look at the cheek and jaw. Look at the eagle's feathers and chest. These areas disappear fast this year. Heavy use wiped most of them flat decades ago. A coin that still holds shape, still carries detail, still wears its age honestly, is a survivor against impossible odds. That's why collectors consider it hidden wealth. The composition doesn't scream luxury, but that's irrelevant. Value here is born from survival, not metal. From condition, not shine. Collectors know exactly what to look for, and they do not waste time when a real one appears. They check the surfaces. They study the gray layer. They protect it immediately. Watch what happens at auctions. When a true fine condition 1969 no-mintmark quarter surfaces, the room tightens. Bidding climbs fast and quietly. There's no hesitation. And once it is sold, it usually disappears into a private collection. Collectors are holding these tightly, not releasing them back into the wild. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps growing. That's how quiet wealth turns into serious money. And while all of this is happening, people are still spending these coins, tossing them aside because they look old or dull, losing life-changing opportunities without ever knowing it. In today's market, a genuine fine condition 1969 Washington quarter with no mint mark and original gray toning has reached around $121,000. And that number only exists because so few real survivors remain. So here's your warning. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Do not assume dull means worthless. Check every quarter carefully. Look for the missing mint mark. Respect original surfaces. Get professional grading. Patience is golden, and one careless move can erase everything. And don't go anywhere, because the next coin on this list is even more shocking. It's rarer, more misunderstood, and even more dangerous to overlook. What comes next pushes this story to another level, and once you hear it, you will realize why collectors are getting desperate to find it before everyone else does. This is the kind of coin people laugh at right before they lose a silent fortune. The 1986 Washington quarter with the D mint mark looks too modern to matter, too normal to question, too easy to spend. And that's exactly why it's one of the most dangerous quarters hiding in circulation right now. People don't protect it. They don't check it. They don't respect it. And every single day, a life-changing opportunity slips away without a sound. Stay till the end, because one misunderstood detail on this coin flips everything upside down. 1986 was a deceptive year in America. On the surface, things felt stable, but underneath, spending habits were brutal on coinage. Quarters were being used non-stop. Vending machines, arcades, laundromats, parking meters, toll roads. Coins didn't rest. They were abused. Nobody was saving modern quarters. Nobody imagined they would matter. That's what makes this year critical. Coins from this period were chewed up fast, and survival in strong condition became shockingly rare. At the Denver Mint, production was heavy and constant. Quarters were struck and released rapidly to meet demand. Speed mattered. Precision took a back seat. Coins hit each other in bags, edges clashed, surfaces picked up marks before they ever reached a wallet. Most 1986 D quarters entered circulation already wounded, and decades of hard use finished the job. That's why today, almost all of them look tired, flat, and forgettable. Now here's where the danger becomes real. Very fine condition on this coin is not common. It's abnormal. It means the details that should be gone are still there. Washington's hair still has separation. The cheek hasn't melted flat. The eagle still shows feather structure where wear usually erases everything. This detail changes everything. Collectors know that finding a 1986 D that looks this strong is not normal, and that's why they pay attention. The coin's copper-nickel body doesn't impress casual eyes, but collectors don't care about metal here. They care about survival against modern circulation abuse. They care about untouched surfaces. They care about originality. And that's where most people destroy their own wealth. Cleaning this coin kills it instantly. Shine is poison. Original tone, even if it looks dull, is power. Never clean this coin. Ever. Professional grading is not optional if you want protection, because without it, this coin is invisible to serious buyers. The no-mintmark matters more than most people realize. Denver quarters from this year show inconsistencies that collectors track obsessively. Strong strikes paired with honest wear are incredibly scarce. Most were weak or destroyed. The few that survived, in very fine condition, became hidden treasures almost by accident. That's why collectors move quietly when one appears. Watch real auction behavior, and the truth becomes obvious. When a legitimate, very fine 1986D surfaces, it doesn't linger. Bidding tightens. Numbers climb fast. And when it is sold, it usually vanishes into a long-term collection. Collectors are holding, not flipping. They understand supply is shrinking and demand is only going one direction. Up! Meanwhile, everyday people are still spending this coin, tossing it into machines, handing it over without a glance, losing quiet wealth without ever knowing it was there. In today's market, a true, very fine condition 1986D Washington quarter has reached around $102,000, and that number exists because survival like this is brutally rare. So slow down. Check modern quarters too. Don't assume newer means worthless. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect condition. Dirt is not damage. Cleaning is destruction. Patience is golden, and rushing costs fortunes. And don't stop now, because the next coin is even more shocking. It breaks expectations, scares collectors, and proves that danger doesn't always look old. What comes next is rarer, more intense, and even more expensive. And once you hear it, you will understand why people are panicking to search their change right now. This is the kind of quarter people push aside because it looks wrong, dark, almost suspicious, and that mistake costs them a silent fortune. The 1960 Washington quarter, with the D mint mark and that natural black shade, is not damage, it's danger in disguise. It looks spendable. It looks ignored. And that's exactly how life-changing opportunities get lost every single day. If you have ever rejected a dark-toned quarter without a second thought, this coin should stop you in your tracks. Stay till the end, because one misunderstood detail on this coin flips everything. 1960 was a turning point year in America. The country was shifting fast. Money was moving constantly, and coins were being worked hard from the moment they left the mint. People trusted cash, not collectibles. Quarters were everywhere and treated like tools, not treasures. That environment matters, because coins born into heavy circulation rarely survive untouched, especially when no one believes they are worth saving. At the Denver Mint, quarters were struck aggressively to meet demand. Bags were filled, dumped, and shipped at speed. Coins smashed into each other, edges nicked, surfaces rubbed before they even reached a register. Most 1960D quarters entered circulation already scarred, and decades of use only erased more detail. That's why, today, nearly all of them look worn, brightened by cleaning, or completely lifeless. Now here's the shock. That black shade some survivors carry is not dirt and not decay. It's original toning, formed naturally over time. Collectors crave it because it proves the coin was never stripped or polished. This detail changes everything. The moment someone cleans this coin to fix it, the silent fortune is destroyed. Never clean this coin. Ever. That dark tone is proof of honesty, and honesty is what collectors pay for. Finding a 1960D in fine condition is brutally difficult. Look at Washington's hairlines, the cheek, the jaw, the eagle's chest and wings. These details vanish fast on this year. Heavy use flattened them decades ago. A coin that still holds definition while wearing natural dark skin is a survivor against impossible odds. That's why collectors treat it as hidden wealth. The silver-based composition of this era gives the coin presence, but the real value comes from condition and originality, not metal alone. Combine that with the no-mintmark, and the story becomes even more intense. Denver strikes from this year vary widely, and strong, clean survivors are scarce. Collectors know this, and they hunt quietly. They don't announce it. They wait. Watch what happens when one of these appears at auction. The room tightens. Bids jump fast. There's no hesitation. And once it sells, it usually disappears into a private collection. Holders don't rush to sell. They understand supply is shrinking while demand keeps climbing. That's how quiet wealth turns into serious money. Meanwhile, people are still spending these coins, rejecting them because they look dark, cleaning them because they think it helps, destroying value without ever realizing it existed. In today's market, a genuine fine-condition 1960D Washington quarter with original black toning has reached around $112,000, and that number only exists because so few real examples survived. So here's your warning. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Dark is not bad. Dark is rare. Check every quarter carefully. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect original surfaces. Get professional grading. Patience is golden, and one careless move can erase everything. And don't go anywhere, because the next coin is even more dangerous. It's older, rarer, and misunderstood in a way that has already cost people fortunes. What comes next raises the stakes even higher, and once you hear it, you will understand why collectors are quietly panicking to find it before everyone else does. This is the quarter nobody takes seriously, and that's exactly why it's so dangerous. The 1998 Washington quarter with the P mint mark looks too new, too clean, too ordinary to matter, and that single assumption has already erased silent fortunes. People spend it without hesitation, toss it into machines, and never look back. Meanwhile, collectors are quietly hunting it like a hidden treasure. If you think modern quarters can't hold serious money, this coin proves how wrong that belief is. Stay till the end, because one tiny detail on this coin changes everything. 1998 was a year of speed. Money moved fast, technology moved fast, and coins were treated like disposable tools. Nobody was saving quarters. They were flowing non-stop through vending machines, parking meters, toll booths, and cash registers. That environment matters because coins from fast-spending eras get destroyed quickly. Survival in fine condition becomes the exception, not the rule, especially for Philadelphia issues that were struck in massive numbers and thrown straight into circulation. At the Philadelphia Mint, production was relentless. Quarters were pushed out rapidly to meet demand, and quality took a back seat to volume. Coins clashed in bags, surfaces picked up marks early, and most entered circulation already compromised. Decades of use finished them off. That's why, today, most 1998 P quarters look tired, dull, or damaged. Finding one that still holds strong detail is shockingly hard. Now here's the part people misunderstand. Fine condition on a 1998 P is not common. It means Washington's hair still shows separation, the cheek hasn't melted flat, and the eagle still carries feather detail that should be gone by now. This detail changes everything. Collectors know exactly how rare it is to see a survivor from this year that hasn't been scrubbed, polished, or abused. The copper-nickel body makes people underestimate it, but value here has nothing to do with metal. It's about originality. Original surfaces matter more than shine. Original toning, even if it looks plain, is proof this coin wasn't destroyed. The fastest way to erase its future is cleaning it. Never clean this coin. Ever. Professional grading is not a luxury here, it's protection, because without it, this coin blends right back into pocket change. The P-mint mark tells a story collectors care deeply about. Philadelphia quarters from this period were assumed to be easy. That assumption was wrong. Strong survivors are scarce, and scarcity creates desire. Collectors don't chase loudly. They wait, they watch, and when one appears, they move fast. This is hidden wealth being gathered quietly. Look at auction behavior, and you will see the truth. When a legitimate fine condition 1998 P Washington quarter surfaces, bidding doesn't crawl, it jumps. Buyers compete without noise, and once the coin is secured, it usually disappears for years. Collectors are holding, not selling. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps climbing. This is not hype. This is real market behavior. And while that's happening, everyday people are still spending this coin like it is nothing, dropping it into machines, handing it over for change, never knowing they just lost a life-changing opportunity. In today's market, a genuine fine condition 1998 P Washington quarter has reached around $90,000, and most people will never realize how close they were to serious money. So slow down. Check modern quarters too. Don't assume newer means worthless. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect condition. Dirt is not damage. Cleaning is destruction. Patience is golden, and rushing destroys fortunes. And don't stop now, because the next coin is even more shocking. It's rarer, more misunderstood, and far more dangerous to overlook. What comes next pushes this list into another level. And once you hear its story, you will understand why collectors are getting desperate to find it before everyone else does. This is the quarter people never look at twice, and that single glance is costing them a silent fortune. The 1979 Washington quarter with the D mint mark blends in perfectly with everyday change. And that's what makes it so dangerous. It doesn't look old enough to be special. It doesn't look rare enough to matter. And while people keep spending it without a thought, collectors are quietly circling it like a hidden treasure. If you think you know modern quarters, this one proves how wrong that assumption can be. Stay till the end, because one tiny survival detail on this coin changes everything. 1979 was a chaotic year for money in America. Inflation anxiety was still fresh, spending habits were aggressive, and coins were treated like disposable tools. Quarters were everywhere and respected nowhere. Vending machines, arcades, laundromats, toll booths, parking meters, non-stop abuse. Nobody was saving quarters from this year. That's why the year itself matters. Coins born into constant movement rarely survive with dignity, and this one was thrown straight into the storm. At the Denver Mint, production was relentless. Demand was high, speed mattered, and quarters were pushed out fast. Bags were dumped, coins smashed together, edges nicked, surfaces marked before the public ever touched them. Most 1979 D quarters entered circulation already compromised, and decades of hard use erased whatever detail they had left. That's why today, the vast majority look flat, dull, and forgettable. Now here's where the shock begins. Finding a 1979 D in fine condition is not normal. It means Washington's hair still shows separation where it should be gone. The cheek still has shape. The eagle's feathers still exist instead of being wiped smooth. This detail changes everything. Collectors know exactly how quickly this year wears down, and when they see a survivor, alarms go off. The copper-nickel body tricks casual eyes into underestimating it, but collectors don't care about metal here. They care about survival. They care about originality. They care about surfaces that haven't been scrubbed or polished to death. That's where most people ruin everything. Cleaning this coin destroys it instantly. Shine is the enemy. Original tone, even if it looks plain or slightly dull, is power. Never clean this coin. Ever. Professional grading is essential if you want this coin to be taken seriously. The D mint mark is not just a letter. It's a warning sign. Denver strikes from this year show inconsistencies that collectors track obsessively. Strong strikes paired with honest wear are incredibly scarce. Most were weak or destroyed. The few that survived quietly became hidden wealth, unnoticed by the public and aggressively pursued by serious collectors. Watch what happens at auctions and the truth becomes obvious. When a real fine-condition 1979 D appears, bidding doesn't feel casual. It tightens. Numbers jump quickly. And once the coin is secured, it usually vanishes into a collection for years. Collectors are not selling these. They're holding them, waiting patiently as supply dries up and demand keeps rising. And while all of this is happening, people are still spending this coin, handing it over for change, dropping it into machines, losing life, changing opportunities without ever knowing what slipped through their fingers. In today's market, a genuine fine-condition 1979 D Washington quarter has reached around $102,000, and that number exists because survival like this is brutally rare. So slow down. Check every quarter, even the ones that feel too new to matter. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect condition. Dirt is not damage. Cleaning is destruction. Patience is golden, and rushing costs fortunes. And don't go anywhere, because the next coin is even more dangerous to ignore. It's rarer, more shocking, and the story behind it makes this one feel almost safe. What comes next pushes this list into truly scary territory, and once you hear it, you will understand why collectors are quietly panicking right now. This is one of the most misunderstood quarters people throw away on instinct, and that mistake is costing silent fortunes. The 1980 Washington quarter, with the D mint mark and that natural black shade, looks suspicious to most people. Too dark, too odd, too easy to reject. And that's exactly why this coin is so dangerous to ignore. What looks wrong to the public looks priceless to collectors. If you've ever skipped a dark quarter without checking it, this coin should make you stop breathing for a second. Stay till the end, because one misunderstood surface detail on this coin changes everything. 1980 was a brutal year for money in America. Inflation pressure was heavy, confidence was shaky, and coins were abused non-stop. Quarters didn't rest. They moved constantly through gas stations, arcades, laundromats, toll booths, and vending machines. Nobody saved them. Nobody protected them. That year matters because coins born in high-stress circulation environments almost never survive clean, and most from 1980 were destroyed fast. At the Denver Mint, output was aggressive. Speed mattered more than perfection. Coins were struck, dumped into bags, smashed together, and shipped out quickly. Surfaces picked up marks early. Edges took hits. By the time they reached the public, many were already compromised. Decades of heavy use erased even more detail. That's why today, most 1980 with D quarters look flat, brightened by cleaning or completely lifeless. Now here's where the shock begins. That black shade some survivors carry is not damage. It's natural toning formed over time. Collectors crave it because it proves the coin was never stripped, never polished, never ruined. This detail changes everything. The moment someone cleans this coin to improve it, the silent fortune disappears. Never clean this coin. Ever. That dark skin is proof of honesty, and honesty is what collectors fight over. Finding a 1980 with D in fine condition with original black toning is brutally rare, Look at Washington's hairlines, the cheek, the jaw. Look at the eagle's chest and wings. These details vanish fast on this year. Heavy circulation wiped most of them smooth decades ago. A coin that still holds definition while wearing natural dark tone is a survivor against impossible odds. That's why collectors see it as hidden wealth. The copper-nickel body fools casual eyes, but collectors don't care about metal here. They care about survival, originality, and that tiny D-mint mark. Denver strikes from this year show wide inconsistencies, and strong survivors are scarce. When collectors spot one, they do not hesitate. They know opportunities like this don't come often. Watch real auction behavior and you will feel the tension. When a legitimate fine condition 1980D with original black toning appears, bidding jumps quickly. There's no casual interest. Once it sells, it usually vanishes into a private collection. Collectors are holding these tightly, not releasing them back into the market. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps rising. That's how quiet wealth becomes serious money. And while this is happening, everyday people are still spending this coin, rejecting it because it looks dark, cleaning it because they think it is dirty, destroying value without ever knowing what they touched. In today's market, a genuine fine condition 1980D Washington quarter with original black toning has reached around $83,000, and most people will never realize how close they were to life-changing wealth. So here's your warning. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Dark is not damage. Dark is rare. Check every quarter carefully. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Respect original surfaces. Get professional grading. Patience is golden, and one careless move can erase everything. And don't stop now, because the next and final coin is the most shocking of them all. Rarer, more dangerous, and more valuable than anything you've heard so far. What comes next changes this entire list. And once you hear it, you will understand why collectors are on edge and racing to find it before everyone else does. This is it. The one that makes every other coin on this list look ordinary. The 1960 Washington quarter with the D mint mark carrying that deep black shade and the rare brown spots is the ultimate hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. At first glance, it might look like just another old quarter, but one look closer and you realize this is life-changing wealth you could be tossing into a vending machine without even thinking. Stay with me, because this coin tells a story of survival, chaos, and quiet fortune that almost no one gets to touch. 1960 was a brutal year for coins. Money moved fast. Coins were abused, dropped, scratched, and forgotten. Most quarters didn't survive the decade without losing all detail, but this one did. That black shade isn't dirt, it's original toning, proof it wasn't polished or cleaned. And those tiny brown spots? They aren't imperfections. They're part of its story, part of what makes collectors fight to get their hands on it. Fine condition is almost unheard of for this year, and that rarity is what transforms this coin from everyday change into serious, silent fortune. Collectors go crazy over coins like this. One surfaces and bidding explodes. Phones ring off the hook. Wallets open, and once it is gone forever. The market value today is around $121,000, but the real number is in the quiet wealth, the life-changing opportunity it represents. Don't touch it, don't clean it, and don't even think about spending it. Original toning is sacred. Patience is everything. One careless move, and decades of potential disappear in a second. And here's the truth you need to feel in your bones. Every coin on this list is hiding out there somewhere, waiting to be found, quietly changing lives for anyone who recognizes its value. You've just seen the top 10 most valuable Washington quarters, each rarer and more shocking than the last. But the real treasure isn't just in these coins, it's in your awareness now. Check your change. Look twice. Slow down. One small detail could turn ordinary quarters into life-changing wealth. Remember, this is not fiction. These coins are real, they are out there, and they are quietly slipping through people's fingers every day. Don't be the person who spends a fortune without knowing it. This is your chance to catch hidden treasure before it disappears forever. Keep your eyes open, because silent fortunes are hiding everywhere. And now you know exactly what to look for.